Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. I know it's been a while, but again, this and a 1.5-year-old. The time is not really there and I'm trying to just enjoy the baby bubble still. She is almost 4 weeks in a few days. She's 4 weeks and I can't really understand that it was 4 weeks ago since she arrived, because it feels, in one way it feels like forever ago and in one way it feels like a few days ago. So yeah, I thought I would just explain my birth story, because a lot of you have been asking me and I didn't do it last time with Leon and now I don't even know if I remember everything. So I will make this video, and if you haven't seen the birth video, Jon made a birth video, but I thought I would just explain like my point of view of it and how I felt and my thoughts and everything, and from the beginning. So let's do that. Leia is sleeping, so let's hope she continues with that. Yeah, now she wakes up a bit, but that's okay. She usually sleeps, so if not, I will just have her here. But that's okay, I hope. So she arrived 1 week early, and I didn't think she would come early actually. Even though my doctor said from like pretty early on, she was like, oh okay, I think she's gonna arrive early. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I think she's gonna arrive late like Leon, and I think we're gonna have to induce me like we did with Leon. But I had no problems with that because I really I like planning. So I did not have any problems with getting induced, because then I could actually plan when he was arriving. And I thought it would be the same with her. But it wasn't. It was in a way, I will tell you. Just because I'm filming, she gets sad. Okay, let's try this instead. So it all started with us going for our appointment as usual. So I felt good, like normal. I didn't have any feelings that it was about to start. I felt like energized and everything. So I think I even did like a workout with my sister the day before going to the doctor. And when we arrived to Maria's office, which is my doctor, as you probably know by now, she checked and everything. She was like, oh, she doesn't grow anything, and the liquid in your belly, like it's decreasing, so I think it's better, like she's ready. So if you want, we can start it tomorrow and take her out, like why not? She's ready and you're ready, and I think we can just take her out. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm mentally prepared, like are we gonna have 2 kids? And I thought she would arrive in like a week or more. But I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's see you tomorrow at the hospital. And she was like, okay, I just have to check if you're open anything. And then you do like this normal vaginal check. So she did. And she was like, oh, you're 2 centimeters open already. So, which is good. So I'll see you tomorrow at the hospital. And I was like, okay, great. Booked an appointment to make tint my eyebrows and lashes, because I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that in a while, so I always do that to feel fresh. So I went to Nikki, where I always do my brows, and I was like, okay. And then I had an appointment at her place to do the lashes and brows, and I was like, oh, I started to get contractions, but not really contractions. I thought it was Braxton Hicks, which is like this, not really contractions, but I realized now that my pain resistance is pretty high, and I was like, oh, it was not too bad. I did my brows, I felt a bit, but like wasn't really thinking about it. And then I went home and checked, so I had everything in my bag, and was just hanging out, and I was a bit like, I could feel that something was happening, and I was like, oh, that's great, since we're going tomorrow. I wasn't stressed, but I was more like in my own little bubble, because it's like, okay, this is the last day. Leon is gonna be my only child. This is the first time we're gonna let someone else watch him. Like my sister was here, which made me feel super calm and safe, and like I wasn't nervous at all for that. But it was the first time in his life I was not gonna sleep with him next to me, which was something that made me feel like, oh my god. And it was the first time I was actually gonna give him to someone else to have full control over, which was good. And it was if it was someone I wanted to do that with, it was my sister. So yeah, I felt super safe with her. Anyways, we continued, we had dinner. I don't even remember what we had, but I wasn't that hungry, I remember. And like after, we always have early dinner at like 5:30. Since Leon goes to bed at 7. So I always have like a night snack, and I love my night snacks. Like if it's a sandwich or yogurt or anything. So we were just having a normal night. I had contractions, of course, but I was like, oh, it's a bit painful, but not painful. put Leon to bed. Then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a shower. Went down, had a shower since our bathroom wasn't ready yet. And I took a belly pic because I was like, okay, this is probably the last photo of my belly with her inside it. I will try to take one tomorrow as well. Yeah, that was the last one since it started after that. So I had a shower, and then is it called the mucus plug? Anyways, I don't really know the word, but that came out. So I was like, oh wow, okay, now it's probably gonna start. Talked to my sister, she was like, yeah, but I had that like 2 weeks before Livia was born, so it doesn't have to mean that something is starting. I was like, okay, but it got more and more painful, the contractions. So Jon went to bed. He always goes to bed pretty early. So he went to bed, and my sister was like, okay, what are you gonna have for snack? And I was like, nothing. I don't really feel like having a snack. Like, I was not in the mood to eat. I was like, no, and which is super strange. And then it started, and this was around like 8:30 at night, and at like 9:30, I was like, should I text Maria and tell her that it's starting to get a bit painful? And my sister was like, yeah, but maybe you should time the contractions and see how many there are, and how many minutes. And I was like, yeah, but I have them all the time, so I can't really time them. She got a bit stressed after that. So we were sitting there watching TV, and then she was like, okay, you have a lot of contractions, because I started timing them, and I think I had 2 in 5 minutes. Just like, okay, but I'm gonna go to bed, because she knew that if something happens, she will have Leon, and she will have him all day tomorrow, and like, she don't know how she's gonna sleep. So she's like, it's better if I get a few hours of sleep. So she went to bed, and I stayed up maybe 30 minutes. I was trying to time the contractions, and then it started to get painful. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a paracetamol. Had a paracetamol, and then tried to go to bed. But then I felt like, okay, I am not gonna be able to sleep. So I started Googling, like, okay, when should you go to the hospital? I don't know why. I was just like, this is starting to get a bit painful. So I started to time my contractions again. And then I had 3 contractions every 5 minutes. So it was like 1 minute contraction, 45 seconds without, and then like 1 minute and 15 seconds contraction. So I had them like, they came super close. And then when I Googled, it said like, if you can really feel when a contraction starts and ends, you should go to the hospital. I was like, yeah, I've done that for the last hour and a half. But I didn't think it would go that fast. Like, I knew it would go fast because that's what my doctor said. Since Leon came super fast. So I started to get a bit stressed. So I texted her again, like, okay, now I have a lot of painful contractions. Like, what should I do? Like, I'm starting, and Leon was sleeping next to me, and Jon was sleeping as well. And then she was like, oh, but have a hot bath. And I was like, I'm not gonna be able to go to a bath right now. Like, I have to breathe through the contractions, and I only have like 45 seconds in between to catch a breath. Then she's like, okay, I will call the midwife, go to the hospital. So I woke Jon up, and I was like, maybe you should pack your bag, because it's getting really, I think we have to go to the hospital. So he ran up, like, he woke up in 1 second, packed his bag, and I had to stay in bed and be like, breathe through the contractions, because it started to get super painful quickly. So it escalated fast from like not being that painful to being pretty painful to being super painful. So yeah, I was just like, okay, wow, this is gonna go fast, I think. But she will probably be out in the morning. Because I was also thinking before texting Maria, I was like, no, but we're going in tomorrow. I don't want to wake her up. Like, we're gonna see her tomorrow at the hospital at 9. But then I was like, okay, this is too painful. I should text her so she doesn't go to bed. So Jon packed his bag in 1 second, packed the car with all the bags, went down with Leon to my sister, and she was like, what? Okay, it's happening. So I got in the car. Here it was pretty painful. Like, I had to breathe through and like close my eyes. When I get pain, I want to be in my own bubble. So I'm like, hands in front of my eyes. It was the same with Leon. And like, don't talk to me. I just want to be like breathing through this in my own little world. So we went in the car, Jon drove, and it felt like every contraction we were in a roundabout. So I was like, why does it have to be a roundabout all the time? And they have a million roundabouts here in Marbella. So we drove pretty fast to the hospital, not like mega fast, but fast. And it is like a 20-minute drive maybe. So I think I woke Jon up 20 minutes past 11, and I think we were at the hospital 11:45. So yeah, He packed the bags and everything in 5 minutes, and then it took us 20 minutes. So we unpacked the car and we go to the hospital, and I had to actually sit down on the ground almost, like on my knees right outside the hospital because I got a contraction. So Jon was stopping and like, here, hold my bag. I took the contraction there, and then we went in and I sat down, and here I was feeling not great. This was 11:45, and Jon took a photo to send to his parents like, oh yeah, we're here. Maybe it was to my sister, I don't remember. So here you can see that, and then I took a selfie when I didn't feel the contractions anymore. I was like, okay, I need to save this moment because you can really see how painful. I was like, and you had to have the mask, even though I pulled it down actually when I had the contractions because I couldn't breathe. Like, I feel so bad for you guys who have to give birth in a mask, because we didn't have to because you took the corona test before when arriving to the hospital, and at the hospital everyone is vaccinated, so all the doctors of course had the mask and Jon, but I didn't have to, which was really nice because I would probably panic with the mask because I couldn't even get the contraction with the mask because I was like, I can't breathe. Anyways, let's continue. So I sit there and wait when Jon is like checking in, like giving the passports and everything, and then Maria, my doctor, comes in running in like sweatpants. She's like, I'm just gonna go change, I'm ready for you. Like I was like, okay, sitting there in the entrance of the hospital, and then a midwife comes and like, okay, let's go up. So we jump in the elevator. Here it's kind of black, like I don't really remember everything. I just remember like getting a contraction every 45 seconds. So we go into a room where Maria is gonna check how open I am, and she's like, oh, you're 4 or 5 centimeters open, which is great. So it's starting, like it's really working your body. It's for sure happening tonight, but like tomorrow morning probably. And I was like, okay, great, because in between the contractions you're completely normal. It's like you can't talk to anyone, you have to breathe, and it's so painful. And I was like, oh, well, what should we do? Can I have a coffee? Like, you're completely normal. So it's so strange. Anyways, we go into the room that we're gonna be in for the next 2 days. So we get our room, and that's where they do the corona test on me. So I just like change into the not the robe, but like the dress you wear, the shirt you wear. And they do the corona test actually in the middle of a contraction, so that was not super nice. It's like sitting there breathing, and then and when you breathe it's like you get this swab up in your nose super far, and yeah, that was not great. But it was great I didn't have corona since we hadn't really seen any people, and we've only been inside at home the last months, I would say, and we're still doing that. Anyways, we sit in there not too long, so this was, when can this be? 5 minutes to 12 maybe, or 12 midnight, and then we go into the room. No, this must be later. Anyways, we go into the room where I'm gonna give birth, and last time we went down to like the surgery room, so then it was nothing in there really, it was just like the bed, but I didn't really remember that much from there because then I got the epidural. And I was like, straight away when we came to the hospital this time, I was like, okay, I want the epidural. So we go into the room and I'm like, oh, I need the epidural now. Like, it's really painful. It's more painful than last time I got it. So we come into this room where they have a bathtub, they have a little chair. So this, I think this was new for the hospital for now. So they rebuilded like the delivery room, which was so much nicer, but it's not like I actually enjoyed it because I was giving birth 10 minutes later. Anyways, I jump up on the bed and I was like, epidural. They're like, yeah, they're coming. And they put all the things, you know, around my belly, on my arm. You get this, you're gonna have the blood thing in your arm. Sorry, I don't know the words in English in some of these. So yeah, I get everything. I get strapped up to the monitors and everything. And then I'm asking one more time, like, okay, where's the epidural? I really need it. It's really painful now. And then she's like, yeah, they're coming in 1 minute. And this was probably 12:15 or something. And I'm like, okay, I probably won't have time because now she's coming. So she checks and I'm 10 centimeters open and my water still didn't break. Last time with Leon, it didn't break either. So they break it for you. So they broke my water just because they want the water to be broken before giving the epidural. But that made it like, she's coming. So the water breaks and then I'm like, she's coming now. I won't have time to get the epidural. It's just like, okay, yeah, she's coming now, you can push. But I was like, no, I want the epidural. But there was no time. So yeah, no epidural whatsoever, no painkiller whatsoever, nothing. But it was a fun experience, to say the least. Yeah, so I'm like, she's coming, and then she was like, okay, you just have to push, because now she is coming. And I could not stop it. My entire body was just pushing. Like, my belly was pushing out. It was the weirdest feeling. I really felt like an animal. Like, then I could really feel, okay, we're animals. Because my entire body, it was like puking, but down. It was just like, you know, like that, but down. So my body was just pushing down, and then it was a little break, and Maria's like, okay, you can push now. I was like, no, there's no, like, my body's not pushing. And last time with Leon, I didn't really feel this. I didn't feel anything. It was not painful at all. So I didn't really feel, they told me when to push, because then they could see when I had my contractions. So this time it was so cool to actually feel every single, reflex in my body was just pushing down. And then she was like, okay, but now, I was like, now it's coming. So then I was pushing again. I think it was 2 or 3 pushes, and she was out. She was like, do you want to see? Do you want to see? Here, you have to see, Janni. I was like, it was so painful this time, but for like 1 minute. It was like the weirdest pain. It was like someone was putting knives up there, down there. But it was so short. So in a way, I'm super happy I experienced it without the epidural, just to understand, because after last birth, I didn't really have pain. So I was like, it's not painful. So you can really have 2 different experiences. Anyways, I wonder how many times I've said that in this video. Let's move on. So she says, do you want to see? Or something like that. And then I look, and there she is. I don't understand anything. I didn't understand that she was out, because it all went so fast. It was almost like a trauma. No, not really. It all went super smooth. But it was just like, wait, what happened? An hour ago, I was still in bed trying to figure out if should I wake Jon or should I try to sleep? And now she's here.
Relax, Janni, it's here, it's here. Do you want to see? Please, Janni, see, pick up. This, yeah.
Such a weird feeling. So, midnight 20, like 12:20, she was out. And let's just say I'm happy we made it to the hospital. She really wanted to come out 1 week early. She's like, I'm not gonna let you get induced. I'm gonna come out on my own. And I actually told Jon on the way back from from the clinic, when we booked that we're gonna go to the hospital tomorrow. I told Jon, I was like, oh, it's a bit sad that I won't experience, because we probably just want 2 kids, and then I won't experience this whole birth starting on its own, since I'm gonna get induced both times. But yeah, I did. So she was out, I got her on my chest, and I was just like, whoa, what happened? What a crazy experience. It was, of course, the craziest experience I've ever had. With Leon, it was, of course, the craziest thing I've ever experienced as well. But this was on a whole other level, because it all started by itself, and it was so fast, and it was just like, oh my god, what's happening? So yeah, there she was, and I was just like, oh, my little girl. Yes. And she was screaming, and then she was happy, she was looking for the boob straight away. So yeah, we were there, midnight, we had a baby, and Maria was just like, great job, wow, won't see you tomorrow morning then for giving birth, since you're already done. And the entire hospital, I really like giving birth that late at night, or early morning, whatever you say, since it was so quiet in the hospital, no people, it's just like dark outside. Oh, it was really cool, so I have nothing to complain about. But I would suggest epidural to you guys if you're gonna give birth, and if you have time to get it. Even though it was such a cool experience to do it without it, it was super painful. So yeah, but it all went great. It was so cool, and I feel kind of sad now. I'm like, we have to have more kids, because I want to do this again. And I'm super happy you filmed it, because otherwise you forget. Like, it's a bit of a blur, and I'm like, this time I'm really gonna try to remember everything, but you don't. And I guess that's your body's way of doing that, because that's how you want more kids, I guess. But it was an insane experience, and she came out of it. Yes, the sleepy little girl. And yeah, I don't know what else you want to hear. Now it's, as I said, almost 4 weeks ago, and it feels like I'm all healed. You're not until like 6 to 8 weeks, so I'm gonna just relax. I'm not working out or anything, but I feel great, and she feels great. She's growing a lot. She's already outgrown size 50, and I think Leon had that for like a month and a half. So yeah, you're gonna be a big and nice girl, right? Yes. Yeah, she's growing and time flies, especially since we have Leon as well. So yeah, we're busy. We're busy at home. Yes. But yeah, that was my birth story. And then we stayed in the hospital for a day and a half. So one more night. And then we went back home to Leon. But you've seen that if you've seen Jon's video. So the first meeting and everything, he was not too interested, to be honest. He still isn't that interested. He just wants to give her kisses all the time. All the time. And like hug her, even though he doesn't understand that sometimes he can be a bit rough. But yeah, everything went great, and to be honest, it's the coolest thing ever to give birth. Like, so cool. Doesn't matter what experience you have. I guess a lot of people can have a really painful and long delivery, which is, of course, I can't really understand. So I can't say that, oh, giving birth is so amazing. But all the moms I've talked to, they say that. But of course, some people have traumas. I didn't really, even though it was super fast. But yeah, I don't really know what I wanted to say with that. Just that it's such a cool experience. And I want to do it again, but I'm not sure we want more kids. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this birth story. And let me know if you want to ask something else, like if there's something else you're wondering about. I will try to answer. And I will try to vlog more. I have so much to show you. I'm going to try to make just like a regular vlog this week, just because why not? And also our bathrooms are done, so I want to show you that as well. Yeah, I just want to get back to vlogging. But yeah, now at least you've heard the birth story of little Leia. Yeah, and I'm a fast birth giver, apparently. But I didn't think it would be that fast. Yeah, it was. Okay, see you guys soon. Ciao! Leia, do you want to say ciao? No? Ciao. You want to say ciao? Ciao! Okay.